What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast, episode 59. I'm your host, Ryan. Gonna wait for Mr. at Customs by Matthew to join us. But, hope everyone's doing well. Hope you've had a great week. Got a lot of rain and snow here again. Not happy about that. Really cold here right now. Not happy about that. But hopefully we're nearing the end of winter. Start getting some spring weather soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Tonight we're going to talk about the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer that aired during the Super Bowl last week. I guess last Sunday. Our thoughts on that, our theories on that, where we think it's going, all that fun stuff. So there may be some spoilers for comic storylines and stuff like that, so just be prepared for that. If you haven't watched the trailer, we are going to spoil the trailer for you, so if you want to go into Doctor Strange completely oblivious, just FYI, we will spoil it. But, Matt just joined, so I'm just going to wait for him to hop on, and then we'll get to it. Got my trusty bubbly here. I also built a nice Lego set that I'll show off tonight a little bit. So if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram, obviously you'll see it. But if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, maybe consider hopping by Instagram at Moose Milk Media. You can see the new Batmobile that I built, the Lego Batmobile from the Batman. And built that this week. It says you have to let me in. Well, I didn't get any invitation to let you in, bud. I wish I did. Oh, there it is up now. Maybe not. There it is. What's going on, buddy?
Oh my God! You should see how cute this is.
Oh.
Watch.
If you're Wiener Zone, I'm going to be upset.
It's his birthday today.
Aw, what a cutie.
Isn't he the cutest? Oh,
Yeah.
You're such a good boy, except when you bark and keep your mom up and get kicked out. Now you're my problem.
Yeah, well, that's dogs for you.
That is true.
They do like the whole barking thing.
They sure do.
Especially Dash.
Especially Dash Hounds, yes. Notoriously known. Guess what? I've been able to completely dodge doing anything on my next video all week. I've found excuses every night.
I mean, that's good in the fact that you don't want to do it, but it's bad in the fact for content.
Shit. It's like every single night I've had something on my list. Nope.
It's the same way, though, man. I was going to stream that whole Lego build, and I was just like, nah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on camera for 10 hours while building this. It's just too much work.
Yeah. I mean, even if you do it every just once in a while, it's not like you have to have the whole series, right? I mean, you could do it, you know what I mean? You can do
an hour at a time.
Yeah, and then you can keep people updated from that point on with pictures and stuff like that, right?
You want to see this thing?
Yeah, man. You said it lights up. I couldn't really tell from the pictures.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but
it's inside and stuff, probably, right?
Well, the back here.
That's crazy.
Lights up. Hold on, I'll see if I can turn off the light here.
Yeah, turn off that light, dog. Oh, crazy! Yeah, I see it.
So, that's the engine
man.
part, and then inside the front lights up.
Oh, cool! That's sick.
So, the hood opens.
Nice. That's so sweet.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's really cool. It's nice. It's doors open. The steering wheel actually moves the tires and stuff.
Nice.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's the cool thing about Technics is that it all actually kind of works. So it's
yeah,
it's interesting.
But as it drives, this whole fire thing on the back, it twirls as it moves, the wheel moves, and
sick, man. That's
really
so
nice.
Cool. That's really cool. This toy company called Mezco, they released they solicited or they showed pictures or a teaser of the Batman figure. Looks really good. Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, I can't believe that it's only like what, a week and a week, like 2 weeks, I don't know, whatever.
Super close.
Yeah,
I need to buy tickets to that. I got to make a reminder.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing.
Buy tickets for Batty Bat.
Are you going to see it opening night?
Yeah, probably, or one of the first nights. Maybe not opening. Yeah. Well, maybe opening night. We'll see.
Well, because if we're going to do the podcast at night on it.
Oh yeah, are we going to do it immediately following? Because if we are, then I will.
Okay, well, if you want to do that as a plan, then I'll make sure I go see it on the 4th.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, so I totally understand not wanting to do content some days because it's a lot of work. And
yeah, man.
I'm on vacation, and the last thing I felt like doing was work.
Well, the one thing that was fun was Whip Wednesday Live this week was super fun. So I did my usual work in progress Wednesday on YouTube for the second week in a row, and this time Ryan joined in for the whole, pretty much the whole like 2.5 hours, and
it helps when I'm not working, right? Like normally I'm at work while I'm streaming. Yeah, if you streamed at like 7 p.m. my time, I'd pop in every week and check it out. But I'm always at work when you're doing the streams.
Yeah. Gotcha. It was just nice. That's all I was saying. That wasn't intended to be like a guilt trip or anything.
I loved it. You did a great job. I mean, watching your work, it's really cool, and you got a great, interaction in the chat that night, and
it was fun.
A lot of fans coming out. So it was nice. It was nice to chit chat with your community.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was really fun. So yeah. What did you watch this week?
I watched so much shit, man. I'm on vacation, so I'm watching a fuck ton of stuff. And like as I was building the Lego, I sat there and streamed 2 seasons of Schitts Creek. So I'm on the last season now.
Oh, nice. How are you liking it?
It's great.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about that episode where it's Alexis does a little bit of Alexis song.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's like, that's the best episode, and so I finally got to that episode, and I was laughing my ass off. It was great.
Very funny.
Yeah, it's great. I love Alexis, but Schitts Creek's awesome. I'm on the last season of that. I went and finally
have your opinions on the characters changed yet? Are you?
I still like Alexis the most.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Alexis is my favorite. I think she's fucking hysterical, but
she is very funny.
I mean, Moira's alright, but like she's my least favorite character for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just find her more obnoxious than she is funny, but that's her character.
Yes, that is 100% her character. Yeah.
But the way she says things always makes me laugh because she has that like fake accent thing going on that it's just really funny.
Yeah.
But
she's great. I quite like that character. Honestly, it's hard for me to pick a favorite because they all have things that I love about them. So it's just like one side will come out and I'm just like, oh man, I love this character so much. So
yeah, like David's really annoying too at times, but like the way he says things and the way his like mannerisms and stuff like that, like I'm like, this guy's hilarious. Just the way he like sees things and thinks about things, and like that's what cracks me up about him. But yeah, he still has that point
of view on people and just
totally.
Everything.
My point of view on people.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Yeah, it's great. It's a funny show, and super Canadian at times, so I like that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, hi, Homer. You're back at my feet. That's nice.
My dog does that too all the time. He loves my feet.
He just rolled up and laid down on my feet.
My dog does that all the time. Went to finally see him Scream.
Oh, yes. That's right. You mentioned that.
It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Scream 5 / just called Scream. But really well done. Really solid, especially if you appreciate all the stuff from the original. Has a lot of like little touchstones from the original, but really just cleverly written, really like meta, a lot of meta like things going on for like a sequel / reboot /
all the main characters are back from like David Arnett.
All the surviving ones, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, really well done. Really enjoyed it.
Where would it sit in your lineup?
It's definitely better than 3, but like 3's abysmal.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I don't even really remember liking 2 that much. I feel like the only one I really got into was the first one.
2's fine. It has some weak moments, but as far as the sequel goes, like it's fine. I think the killer reveal is kind of weak, but it has some cool like scenes in it, and the murders are pretty brutal in it at times. So I don't know. I like 2, but it's not as good as the original. Obviously, Scream 4 I really liked. I think it has a lot of great moments, but I hated the ending of it, so it kind of ruined it for me. But I don't know. I mean, it's. I would have to see it a few more times because I've watched Scream probably 150 times. So
yeah.
I'd have to give Scream 5 a couple more watches to really have a good assessment of where it fits in my rankings.
That's fair.
Somewhere in the middle, probably.
Cool. That's good.
It's not as good as the original, but you know.
What else did you get into?
Oh, Peacemaker finale.
Yes. How was it? I heard it was great.
Fucking so good, dude.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
So good. You're gonna love this show, man. Like, it's so fucking James Gunn, and like, it just really rips apart like the DCEU constantly. Like, they just shit all over the DCEU so many times. Like the ongoing joke is this Peacemaker will just like pick up Justice League member and just be like say the worst shit possible about them. Like, oh yeah, like the first one's Aquaman, and he just rips apart Aquaman, and like I won't spoil it. It's really, really good. It's nice. It's an awesome finale. Like, yeah, it's everything I wanted. It's super rated R, and they announced that they're going to do a season 2, and that just
I saw that. It's
awesome.
Yeah, I know that. Like, I think I've said this a few times when you bring it up. My buddy Alvin is like he's obsessed with it. He loves it so much. So, and I heard him all like gushing about how good it was.
It's on par with like The Boys, in my opinion. Like,
is it nice?
It's that rated R, hyper violent, really adult like take on superheroes, genre. So I dig it.
Cool. How long are those episodes? Like 40 minutes? 45 minutes?
They all vary between 44 and an hour.
Okay.
Some episodes are longer, some are shorter, but yeah, it's 8 episodes, so you can get through it pretty quick. I mean,
cool.
Yeah. I hope season 2 is great, because I'm sure it's a year away, but fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure. Nice. That's sick, man.
And then obviously I started playing Horizon Forbidden West, came out today. I'm already 10 hours into it.
What the fuck is that?
The video game for PS5. It's basically like set in like the year, I don't know, like 3000 basically. And basically we've gone back to like our like primal like hunter warrior stereotypes, because Earth's been wiped out, and now we just live in like basically little like clusters of humanity that are like very like tribal. But basically there's like robot dinosaurs roaming the world that humans created before the apocalypse. Basically we made these like robot dinosaurs for like harvesting plants and like agriculture and like doing all these like random tasks throughout the world, so we didn't have to do them anymore, farming and all these different things. Right. And there's like an AI program that runs it all that goes hectic, and they all turn like bad and basically kill humanity.
Crazy.
And
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. So basically you play this like huntress that like has like a bow and arrow and like all this like equipment and shit that takes down these like robot dinosaurs, and each one has like a different kind of style of attack, where they have like plates of armor and stuff all over them, where you like blow them off with a bow and arrow and like melee strike them with like a staff that like rips off parts of their armor and stuff. It's really cool.
That's cool, man. Sounds cool.
You did. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Like,
oh, nice,
fucking
nice.
Stunningly graphics. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that would probably look like that'd be cool to see. So.
It's really cool.
Nice.
But what else did I watch? I can't think of it. I think that's it. I don't know. There might be something else that I'll pop in my head, but
comes into your mind.
What's that? Yeah, I can't think of anything right now. Nice. Your turn. So
we so yeah, as I mentioned last week, Kate has been away, so I've been waiting to watch Murderville with her, and we watched the first episode. She's like, "This is the fucking worst. I'm not watching this." I was just like, "Nah." Figured that. I saw that coming, kind of. So
I love it.
To be honest, I don't think it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, for sure. I think there's some pretty hilarious parts, for sure. Like the Conan one where they're at the table and
Oh, I was
our head
crying.
gets like blown away by that magic trick. Like, yeah, same. I was like in fucking tears.
That and the sandwich.
The
When he's
sandwich.
when he's pouring the hot sauce on the sandwich, he's like, I know how you like your sandwiches wet. You like your sandwiches still wet. And his Conan is sitting there trying to eat it. And oh my God, I was like in tears.
I liked the Annie Murphy one. So I haven't actually finished. I only got to the Annie Murphy one, so I still have Sharon Stone and one more, I think, to go.
Yeah, I like the Kumail Nanjiani one is my favorite one by far.
That Kumail Nanjiani one was very funny. I fucking was laughing so hard. And again, like I love the best parts are when the actors like break. Like it's so funny. Like, and Camille breaks like remember when he does like the walk or whatever?
The walking down the hallway is the scene that like I was crying. He's like, okay, you got to make your noise too. He's like, it's so good. It's so good.
I said to Kate tonight, we went for a walk to get food, and I said, "Oh, if you didn't, I don't know if you heard me like laugh out loud in the bathtub last night because I was watching that one in the bathtub last night, and that part happened when he started making that noise. Like I fucking just lost it, man.
Totally. I watch it in the tub all the time. Are you still listening to the Always Sunny podcast?
Yeah.
Did you listen to
it? Was so good. The callers.
The one on Monday I watched when I got home, sitting in the bathtub, and I was like crying, laughing as I'm sitting in the bathtub. It was fucking the best.
I like the girl. She's like, I'm taking a shit.
I mean, I don't know if she was actually, or if like she was just like fucking doing that to get laughs on the podcast. But like that whole episode, man, made me laugh. Like that girl that came on after brain surgery or whatever, and she's like, "Yeah, they went in my leg," and they're like, "Who the hell is doing your surgery? You know your brain is not in your leg, right?"
Those guys are
like, was your doctor named Joe Rogan? So good.
Yeah. So I'm 4 episodes into Murderville, and yeah, like it's good.
Awesome.
It's not as good as I hoped it was going to be, but it's still good. I actually liked the episode with the football player. I can't remember his name. The second episode, Marshawn. It came right off of watching Conan's guest last week on his podcast was Marshawn, and then I listened to it, and it was super funny. And then I went to go watch the second episode of Murderville, and it was him, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, cool."
Right on. Yeah. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. So
yeah, it is funny. So I'm excited to watch the next 2. And what else did I watch this week? Oh, yeah, and then we finished watching Broadchurch, that show that we were watching before Kate went away. So
yep,
we watched season 2, and it all gets taken off of Netflix on March 4th. So we're gonna
finish her off.
Power through season 3, hopefully next week, and then
nice
be done with it. So, but yeah.
Yeah,
because this season was like less enjoyable for me on that one because it was like less about. So it was like half of it was like solving a crime, and the second half kind of storyline was like following the trial of the crime from the first season.
Right.
And like, man, just watching it just makes my blood boil. Like with like defense attorneys, and I'm just like, you are horrible human beings.
Yeah, well, I mean, but their job is to defend their client. Like, they have to try to defend their client as much as they can within the law, right? Like,
I get it, but it's still...
It sucks, yeah. I could not imagine, defending a piece of shit murderer, like, or whatever, of, like, you're trying to get this guy off a murder charge, and you're like, well, I think he's guilty, but, like,
a child murderer.
Sure. Yeah, terrible.
Crazy, man. But yeah, so we finished that, and then what else did I watch this week? I think that might have actually been it. I was all over the podcast again this week. I was watching. I think I posted one on my Instagram story of the Toy Migos one. Did you see that thing I posted?
I didn't watch it, no, but
yeah. So it's like one of the guys on the show. So one of the guys who's like associated with the show has run into some like financial issues. He got put in the hospital in the States, and like they have to pay for all that shit, right? Yeah. So he's really struggling. And so Ernie, the guy who collects everything and keeps it all in package, said that anything he got this week in his hauls, he would open for $25 donations to Dario.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, which is so he was such a sport about it. But like one of the things he got was he got this one Boba. He's a huge Boba Fett, like hardcore Boba Fett fan. And one of the things he got was this figure that he already had opened the first one of because he wanted to see what it was like inside. So he had been hunting for like a on package one, and someone made him open that, and it's just like, dude,
That's
honestly,
heartbreaking.
like I was fucking in tears because it's like he looking at him, it's like you could see him sweating, like.
Yeah, it was hard for him to do. Yeah,
like totally didn't think through the statement probably before he. You know what I mean? No. And it's just like, oh man, honestly, I was fucking crying laughing. Oh, it was so funny.
That's funny.
Then I messaged him after, and I was like, "Man, you're a good sport. Honestly, not many
totally.
people would do that." And like, I think he raised just him alone. I think he raised $125 American for him. Like,
that's good.
Yeah. So I was like, "That's pretty fucking good on you."
No, totally. And I mean, you got to do what you got to do for a friend, right? So
yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Hopefully, I'll be getting back to. I shouldn't say that. The last few weeks have been crazy at work, and I'm sure next week will be too. Seems like that's the trend right now.
Nope, it's gonna calm down, and they're gonna actually just pay you to stay home. And yeah, I hope my job. Well, I think my job more likely just to not pay me to stay home, but you know. I'm not going back. I fucking hate that place. There's a new show on Amazon Prime. I can't think of what it's called right now. Fucking it's a bunch of Canadian comedians put in a room together, and they have to try to make each other laugh.
Colin Mockery's on it.
Colin Mockery's on it. I haven't watched it yet, but it's supposed to be really good.
That's another thing I've been watching a lot of over the last 2 weeks that I've been forgetting to mention. Tons of Whose Line Is Anyways.
Oh man, the show used to make me crack up so much.
So much. So funny. Fucking I love Colin.
Yeah.
And Colin and Ryan I love. I like them all, but those two in particular are just
those two were the best. Yeah. No, he's on it. There's a guy from Letterkenny on it. I can't remember who else. There has to be somebody outside my house.
There's that lady, she's kind of like a heavier set lady with dark hair.
Yeah, I don't know what she's from,
but I saw her in. Yeah, I recognize her. I didn't actually know she was Canadian, but I recognize her from stuff. I don't know her name though.
It's called Last One Laughing Canada. It's on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna give it a chance. I think tonight.
Oh, nice! Let me know how you like it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I remember like Rooster Teeth, who's like a YouTube channel / media conglomerate, whatever in Texas. They did the same thing where they have like a bunch of smaller like YouTubers and podcasters within their unit or whatever, and they all got together and did something very similar. So I don't know if this is like produced by them or what, but it was the same idea. They got each other all in a room, and if you make the other person laugh, they're out, and the last one standing basically gets whatever. I think on that show it was like $1,000, but I think for this it's $50,000 for a charity.
Nice.
So yeah, it looks like it's
the idea
pretty funny.
Is that you can't laugh. That's the idea.
You cannot laugh, but you get like props and shit. So like they can do whatever they want as long as they don't laugh.
So Colin's probably going to do great on that because
I think I would be shocked if he didn't win.
I would be shocked if he didn't win also.
But yeah, it looks like it'd be really funny. So I'm gonna try that after the podcast.
In that room, everyone just fucking with each other, trying to get them to break. Yeah. That'd be so funny.
And like, I love the idea of it, but I would laugh within 30 seconds.
Me too. I'd be gone.
I have no control over that.
Me neither.
It's like even watching Murderville, like the Sharon Stone episode, for instance. Like Sharon Stone does not break almost at all, and I'm like, I don't know how you can do that. Like I would be totally Kumail Nanjiani in that show, where I'd just be cracking all the time. I couldn't help it. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good, man. It's so good. Get lower. Legs are...
What does he say? He's like, imagine that your hands are attached to elastics that are on the ground.
Yeah. It's so good.
Oh, fuck.
Should we get into the Doctor Strange trailer?
Yeah, fuck yeah, we should.
I took a shit ton of notes.
Did you? Good for you. I watched it like 5 times tonight, and I took some notes.
I watched it 3 times. I watched 2 other videos about people kind of breaking things down, and then I did some research on, not super in depth, but like stuff from the comics and how people are theorizing what could actually be going on. So again, if you don't want any spoilers or any Doctor Strange 2 talk in your head, like, we're going to talk about the trailer. We obviously have not seen the movie, so we don't have any spoilers for the movie, but this is rumors and theories that I gathered online. So hopefully this doesn't spoil it for anybody, but just be prepared. That's what we're talking about. So,
and disclaimer, I am psychic, so everything I say is going to actually be in the movie.
Call me now.
Call me now for your free bumper clock reading.
I love that fucking. I don't know if you remember back in the day, like when the internet was still kind of like young and shitty, but there used to be like all those like soundboards that you could like fucking.
Yep.
And me and my friend Brian all the time. Yeah, on E-Bombs World, totally. And they had a Miss Cleo one that we'd use all the time and fucking prank call people and just fucking use the Miss Cleo soundboard and just die laughing. And it's like, we still do it all the time. We'll be like, ha 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 ha, call me now. And it's just like, it's the best.
Oh, man. I love
it. Was like, there was one, it was like,
it's like one of the
you're a Libra, aren't you, darling?
You're what?
You're a Libra, aren't you, darling? Oh, there's so many. It's so good.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. So, Doctor Strange. At first, did you like? I mean, I know you like the trailer. We talked about it already, but
the best part is
Hang on a second. Hang on. This is how Ryan. You were drinking. I could tell you.
Oh, I was at a Super Bowl party.
I knew you were drinking because I knew you were at a Super Bowl party, but I also knew you were drinking because this is what
me and my friends are all watching the Super Bowl, and it leaked. It came out before the Super Bowl like started,
right.
like. And I didn't know that. My friend Brian was there and he's on his phone and he's like, oh, guys, the Doctor Strange trailer's out now. We can watch it now. And I'm like, no, I'm watching the football game. Like, I don't want to watch it yet. And he's like, no, we need to watch it right now. And I'm like, no, man, like, wait for halftime. I'm watching the football game. And so he kept pressuring us to watch it. And I kept saying, like, no, I don't want to watch it. Like, wait for halftime. And then halftime came and we put it up. He's like, this is why I wanted you to fucking watch it. Like, he's going nuts. I had like 3 beers in me, yeah.
All I got from you was a voice message, which I don't usually get from you. And it said...
No, I just was too lazy to type.
It just said, Matt, you gotta... Doctor Strange, X-Men, or something.
Yeah, it was just like, I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
I mean, the funny thing is don't get me wrong, it's undeniably Patrick Stewart, and I'm pretty sure that even Marvel has come out and said that it is. I think so too.
Yeah,
but even if they haven't, it's still like, man. I mean, I guess it leaves a lot of things up to discuss. I guess is the best way to kind of put it.
Well, the fear, obviously, that everybody has is that it's going to be Ralph Boner again.
That it's going to be what?
Ralph Boner from fucking WandaVision, right? When fucking Quicksilver was in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, it's Quicksilver. And then it turned out that his name was Ralph Boner and was like, you know, nothing. And it's like everybody got excited about it that Quicksilver was here and then it really didn't matter.
Right. Yes. Like what I do think that is Professor X. And I do think it may not be a version that we know, but it will be a version that has a lot of parallels to the version that we know, I can imagine. Because, like, I feel like his part in this is going to be part of the Illuminati, which in the comic books is, like, a group of, like, kind of the most powerful heroes who, you know, keep everything in check, kind of more or less.
Right.
So usually, like, Professor X, Mr. Fantastic, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, sometimes
Black Bolt.
Yeah, Black Bolt. Sometimes Namor too.
And Iron Man.
Yeah. So I feel like we could be seeing all of those characters played by different people. I feel like Patrick Stewart is going to be a familiar face for us, but when we eventually get the X-Men in the MCU, it won't be Patrick Stewart. Like, I don't think he's here for the long haul. I think he's here for the cameo.
my assumption is he's going to be Earth 597, like whatever Earth they want to say from. Now, my curiosity is obviously like Logan kills off Patrick Stewart. So it's either, if we're getting that Patrick Stewart, like that Xavier, then it has to be obviously pre-Logan, that he's taken from his timeline, almost like what they did with, spoilers, be prepared for Spider-Man, what they did with the new Spider-Man movie.
Right. With
taking villains from other timelines that are dead and taking them from different moments within their timeline before they die. So they could very similarly be doing that with Xavier.
It could also just be a version of him, though, right? Like that's the thing is,
and that's
it doesn't really have to work with the other stuff because it could be
the other option
variation.
Basically, what they did with Loki.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
Yes, it's like there's 27 different versions of Loki or whatever the fuck. This is just another version of Xavier.
Professor.
Who knows?
That's what I think we're getting. I think that version can have a lot in common with the Patrick Stewart Xavier that we already have, but he doesn't have to play by those rules. He can kind of just be. And the thing is like I feel like a lot of these characters we're going to see are going to be glorified cameos. So I ultimately think that like we're not going to get to spend a lot of time for explanation with a lot of these people.
So having said that, you were mentioning in the comics the Illuminati and everything like that with Reed Richards. Now, do we get old Fantastic Four Reed Richards,
or do we get John Krasinski,
or do we get John Krasinski?
Yeah, that would be sweet, man. I hope that we get him. I hope that we get John, because he's been the fan favorite to play that character forever.
Yep.
That being said, even though I don't like those Fantastic Four movies,
they're really bad.
If they had him, if they had that actor play that like him, and obviously it being under better direction and better writing, and like there could be some fun in that too. I think like I'd go either way on that one, especially because Mr. Fantastic's not a character I'm particularly fond of. Like I don't really care about the Fantastic Four. So.
No, either do I. I mean, I look at it as this, right? Like what they did with Spider-Man, they brought the other Spider-Man universes into our Spider-Man universe and made those basically kind of canon of this universe without really making them canon. And I think, okay, now if you're going to do that with Xavier and basically saying the Fox X-Men movies are almost canon of this universe as well now too, why wouldn't you do that with the old Fantastic Four movies as well? And saying, you know what, this is all in the same universe. These movies may not be directly tied into the MCU, but they are in this small way.
Right.
Having said that, you have a Fantastic Four movie coming out next year. Apparently, it's supposed to still dated 2023. Whether that's true or not, who knows? I have a feeling it will be pushed to 2024. But
yeah, probably.
Imagine it. You have that movie coming out. How do you not set that up?
24.
You have to start setting up the new Fantastic Four, and so that would make a lot of sense that you implement John Krasinski now as the new Mr. Fantastic.
Do you honestly think that they're going to have John Krasinski play Reed Richards in our MCU universe? Because I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
I do, because I think that he will end up directing it.
That would be cool.
He directed Quiet Place 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They announced A Quiet Place 3. I think he's proven himself to be a very capable director. He's already obviously proven himself to be a great comedic actor, and he's great in A Quiet Place. He can do dramatic parts too. I definitely think it would not shock me at all if they almost had the same kind of deal they had originally with Ben Affleck of like, hey, you're going to be Batman and you're going to direct the next Batman movie. And then obviously that all fizzled out, but it would not surprise me at all if they were like, yeah, if you want to be in this, you can direct it. You can do what you want with it. Like, you're in our universe and we have to okay it all, but like, we'll give you a little bit of a lengthy leash to do what you want to do with it. This would be obviously a huge, big budget movie that would be way different than A Quiet Place.
Project. Yeah, exactly. A lot bigger than he's used to.
But maybe I don't know enough about John Krasinski to know whether he's a nerdy comic book fan or was into Fantastic Four as a kid, or maybe he's a huge Fantastic Four fan. Like I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm not sure either.
I think that could be interesting. I think they obviously have to start this ball rolling down the hill with mutants, with Fantastic Four, whatever. If we're going to start setting up this base in a really interesting way, I think that all has to be coming down the line. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, if he was cast for it, I'm fine with it. Just the way I look at it is, I feel like they're going to want to cast somebody who still has quite a bit of time. I know that John Krasinski's not super old, but like, is he going to be wanting to play a superhero into his like late 50s and 60s? Like, I feel like that maybe isn't, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I mean, if that was the case, I have no issue with it because I like him. So I would be fine with it. I just don't see that being the direction they're going to take. That's like the X-Men and stuff too. Like, I bet that we're not going to get a lot of big names as X-Men.
No.
X-Men. Like, maybe as villains and shit that can kind of come in and out. But like,
even that
main team, I don't see it happening.
No, but you know what? Like, after watching like Star Wars Book of Boba Fett, the girl that we were talking about last week, that's head of the little biker gang there, that's also in Yellow Jackets.
Yep.
I could totally see her getting cast as one of the X-Men in the next movie.
Could you? Yeah.
Just because it seems like there's a lot of crossover between the Disney Plus shows and the universes, and there's people going from Star Wars to fucking Marvel and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
I could
totally
totally
see a lot
see
of the background people and stuff. Like, I know a lot of it's shared.
It wasn't a big enough role where people are going to go, oh, she played that chick in Star Wars. Like, it was a small enough role where they could say, hey, she's going to be Rogue in the new X-Men or something like that, and it totally worked.
Yeah, totally.
She's young enough. She's not famous enough that I know of. I don't really know a lot about the actress, but like, besides Yellow Jackets and that, I don't know her from anything else. So I could totally see her being an X-Men, you know?
Yeah. I guess time will tell, but it seems like we're going to get our introduction to mutants in this, because there's no way that Professor Xavier is going to be on screen and we're not going to talk about his abilities, like what puts him in the position that he's in, right? So I feel like there's going to be some discussion about mutants in Multiverse of Madness, which makes me very excited.
Well, I think, I mean, we also have to touch on the Loki aspect of it is, it really feels like the whole like time variance authority or whatever from Loki was basically the police of that timeline, not necessarily the multiverse, right? And them setting up Kang in that, and now seeing like the possible Illuminati who's more of like in charge of the multiverse aspect of it. It seems like, you know, we were dealing with like a local police force in Loki, and now we're expanding to like the FBI basically.
Right.
And I think it's all going to really tie back to Loki. I think that's why Loki set up so many of these multiversal timeline things. And it would not surprise me at all when they showed like Strange and Patrick Stewart, and then they showed all the chairs set up that he was talking to, like as like a council or whatever. There was empty chairs there, and clearly they want to keep some surprises. Yeah. And I think there was actually actors sitting in those chairs, and they didn't cut them out of the scene.
Me too.
And basically what they did in the Spider-Man trailer, when they didn't want you to know that there was other Spider-Man here, they just cut them from the trailer. Out. And I have a feeling they did the same thing here. Is those chairs are filled by whoever.
By Tom Cruise as Tony Stark.
Right. And that's what I was going to say is like the rumor is Tom Cruise is in this movie as Tony Stark.
Yep.
From another universe. And the more and more I think about that, I'm like, it just makes too much sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was supposed to play Tony Stark in the 90s. So when Iron Man rights were first acquired, that was the casting plan.
That, and it's a one-off probably deal, right? Like, it's not Tom Cruise tied to the next 10 movies in the universe.
Nope.
They're not going to keep Iron Man going. He's going to be, hey, I'm Tony from another universe. I'm here to do this, and this, and he's gone. And that's a small bit role that Tom Cruise could pull off and then be gone. And, you know, he's making Mission Impossible 7 and 8 right now.
He's got his hands full as it is. Yeah. He doesn't need to be the next Iron Man. Again.
No, he's got Top Gun 2 coming out. Right? Yeah, totally. He's getting too old. Yeah. He's not going to hang around for another 10 years.
Yeah. Before we got to that scene with Professor Xavier and all those seats, we get Doctor Strange handcuffed, being walked by a bunch of Ultron bots.
Right, and that's why I think Iron Man has to be in this.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that, but But I thought the Ultron bots were pretty cool, though. It's like, oh, sweet. They look more like comic inspired than the Ultron we got in the movie, for sure.
Now, do you think, because of all the tie-ins they already do in this trailer from What If, that those are the Ultron bots from What If?
Oh, that'd be okay, so we need to talk about What If, because there is absolutely lots of What If in this.
I was shocked by how much What If is in this movie.
So much, yeah.
And it's basically like a must-watch now to see Doctor Strange 2. Like, if you have not watched What If...
I'll be interested to see, like, how much of that is actually important enough to see, or if it just slightly enhances the experience, because you're like, oh, I remember that.
Okay, but, like, so we get Strange Supreme is in this trailer.
Yep.
We get fucking...
Zombie Strange.
We get the fucking Ultron bots, possibly. We don't know.
Possibly. We also get possibly Zombie Wanda, because there's that one point where she has that, like, thing going down her face.
That, and then also, if you look at the poster for Doctor Strange 2, there's a glimmer of Agent Carter's shield in one of the shards of glass.
Yep.
And so clearly that's going to be a part of it.
Yep. There's been a rumor that Peggy was going to show up as Captain Carter, or the woman who plays her. I can't remember her name. Haley Atwell. There's been rumors that she was going to be in this since, like, well before What If came out. Like, I remember hearing that, like, last summer. So, yeah.
So what I wrote down here is, like, okay, so we talked about the Illuminati from the comics. It looks to me like what the seats could, in the movie trailer or the Strange trailer, could be. We could get Reed Richards. We got Captain Carter maybe as one of the people sitting in that.
Yeah, that might work.
Xavier. It looks like Mordo is going to be a huge part of this.
Yes.
And I think that could be maybe possibly, like, because Doctor Strange is not in that, like, he doesn't even know about this council yet, that Mordo could be basically his seat.
Yes. That would be my guess as well.
Then my other guess is maybe either Kang or Loki.
It's definitely a possibility. I don't know about Loki, but Kang I could see.
So
the only reason I don't think I wonder about Loki is just because Loki doesn't seem like on page enough to be able to, like, sit with people of that caliber in, like, doing a serious thing. Like, it just doesn't fit his character. So, like, I don't know. Like, I know they're different versions, but still.
Yeah. I just think of it as, like, that could kind of set up Loki season 2, as he's, like, the head of this Illuminati council now, and they're basically trying to fix the timeline.
That's very interesting, and that I could totally see that working. I mean, honestly, I would love it if we saw Mobius again, and if we saw Sylvie again. That would be great, especially if they were.
That would be great.
Do we know if we're seeing Spider-Man in this? I guess we probably won't, because he doesn't know who Spider-Man is anymore.
No, we won't see Spider-Man. I can't see us seeing Spider-Man in this, unless it's just the scene from Spider-Man that Doctor Strange was in.
Right.
That, like, you know, that might be, like, the early part of the movie as, like, this is what started the fuck up of the timeline or whatever.
That octopus thing that's walking around the city, that could also technically be a What If tie-in. I know it's Shumagorath, or apparently it's not Shumagorath. That's one of the characters that
Gargantos.
Yeah, it's like some kind of a species or something. I don't know, but technically, what we saw in What If looked pretty damn close to that as well. So
yeah. I mean, from what I saw online, the villain's supposed to be Gargantos from another Earth that's brought into this universe, basically.
How much time do you think we're going to get to spend with Wanda as a villain? And do you think Wanda's going to be a villain? Because I absolutely think Wanda's going to be a villain.
Yeah. So I wrote down 2 quotes from the trailer. Hold on. Where did I write it here? So we know that Wanda's, like, exploring the multiverse basically to get to a universe where Vision and her kids are still alive, basically. Yep. So that's why she'd be exploring the multiverse and trying to figure out which universe she can land in. But she has 2 lines where the one is Strange says, "What do you know about the multiverse?" And Wanda said, "Vince had some some ideas about it, but he thought it was too dangerous." So clearly they already knew about the multiverse. Like, Vision and her had talked about it.
They've been speaking about it. Yeah.
And then there's one. you break the rules and are considered a hero. I do it and I'm the enemy, and it doesn't seem fair. And that scene, she looks like sadistically evil. So I really do think that that's like her going like evil Wanda.
Ooh, man, that's gonna be so cool to see Wanda and Doctor Strange
totally
fucking go at it. That'll be awesome.
And I think she could be like the actual villain of the movie.
That would be, honestly, man. Like, I would love them to take that heel turn with her. Like, I would love that. Like, it's not unprecedented for her to be a villain. She spent a lot of time in the comics as a villain, and like, I would love to see that. Like, I would love to see them flip that, and then like it's like she's sick of everybody trying to tell her what the right way to do things is or whatever, and control her, and just man.
So fucking on cool. That, like we see zombie Wanda, we see an evil Wanda, we see a good nice normal looking Wanda.
We saw her Wanda in her house from Westview.
Right. I have a feeling that one of those Wandas are going to be from the same timeline as Xavier. Because
that'd be kind of cool.
Then it brings her back to her mutant roots.
Yep.
And
brings her back to Xavier too.
And Xavier can say like, there's a multiverse where you're the hero, you're part of the X-Men, like, whatever, and that there's that side of it, and then there's the side of like her being evil, her being the villain.
How cool would it be to see if she goes and sees all these different versions of her, and one of them is her and Ian McKellen. Maybe it wouldn't make sense. Yeah, Ian McKellen as Magneto. Imagine how sick would that be?
Brotherhood of Mutants or whatever, yeah. Because there's also rumors that I saw online, whether it's true or not, that Ian McKellen is in this movie as Magneto.
That would be amazing. The thing is that this all opens up so many possibilities of what you could do. Like, nothing is off the table.
100%.
And it brings me to a next piece of the conversation that we could probably talk about for so long is like, what do you think the likelihood of Deadpool showing up here is? Because to me,
100%. I wrote that down too.
Absolutely, like, necessary. Like, we need to see
this is his entrance.
Yes, exactly. Maybe the post-credit at the end is maybe everything gets sent back to their proper multiverse, but we wake up at the end and he's here. He's in the MCU and he's like, what the fuck?
Well, because there's so much of him knowing what's going on and like understanding like how fucked up everything is, and like it just made sense for him calling it out and being like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I could 100% seeing him being the post credit tag.
Ah, man, how good would that be? I'd love to spend some time with Deadpool in this, even if it was just a little bit.
I just don't think he can be a big part of this movie because of how crass he is. Like, I think
it kind of would take. I
think it has to be a very small bit role. What? Sorry.
I was just going to say it probably would be hard to have something like that demanding the attention of the movie when it's trying to go in a different direction, probably.
100%. I think that's a perfect post-credit tag for him to say something really like fucking stupid, but it's enough where it's not going to be like, a whole part of a movie. Like, it can be a 2-minute little tease for the next Deadpool movie and setting that up.
Imagine this is how we get introduced to the actual MCU X-Men. He goes to the mansion looking for Colossus, and there it's like this team of kids, and he's like, what the shit?
Yeah, totally. They could do so many fun things with it, and I thought that too. As soon as I saw that, I was like, this is a perfect entrance for Deadpool.
That would be so cool. I hope we get Deadpool, man. I'd love to see some Deadpool.
It'd be great, man.
The other thing that I noticed, I saw a still that same thing with the glass shatters or whatever, the little pieces. The reflection in one of them is like clearly animated. Like, it's not like live action. Like, the picture in the reflection of the glass is like animated.
Do you think we could get like an animated world in this movie?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, if you watch the trailer, there's one small, like 2-second segment, maybe not even, of Doctor Strange fighting. I can't even know who he's fighting in the scene. as they're tumbling through like glass shatters and shit like that, and you look in the background and there's two dinosaurs fucking fighting in the background.
I was wondering if that would be the Savage Land.
Well, it could be Savage Land, but it also, like, in Loki, they went back time traveling to Pompeii or whatever for that volcano eruption in that small scene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they could be traveling through time. They could do a lot of things with that. And, yeah, so who knows? Like, we could totally go to like an animated universe. Like, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I'd love to see that. I'm just excited with the possibilities of what we could potentially see here. Like, there's just like, what other characters could, like, what's the chances of us getting Ben Affleck Daredevil, or like,
I don't think so.
What about Nick Cage Ghost Rider?
I could see that as like a small tag, but they did bring Ghost Rider back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., didn't they?
S.H.I.E.L.D. But it was a different version of Ghost Rider. It was Diego Luna.
Okay, well, I could see that more likely than that. I think with, again, spoilers for Spider-Man, with Matt Murdock being in Spider-Man, I think that would be more likely place that Daredevil would be Matt Murdock. Like, I don't think they want to confuse that as much. I wonder
if we get some Netflix people in this.
That'd be great. I mean, with the show leaving Netflix at the end of the month, like, who knows, the rights revert back to or whatever for the shows. It wouldn't surprise me. Again, I don't know how you do that in like a very creative way outside of like just a small, tiny segment of the movie
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely think like we're going to get a lot of random cameos just out of like the hilarity of it. That's not like a massive scene or anything like that, but it's just, boom.
Are we getting Hugh Jackman?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Really?
But it would be interesting to
get Hugh Jackman.
I think if they're really smart, this is your one shot, because I don't think Hugh Jackman's going to be a part of this world at all.
I agree. You're gonna put
this was your one shot at doing Deadpool, Wolverine thing, and they've kept back and forth saying they want to be in a movie together or whatever. This would be your shot at doing like a small 3 minute thing between them, fight scene or just even dialogue that's funny between them.
Imagine Deadpool fought X-Men Origins Deadpool. Imagine we got like an actual fight of that in this. That'd be funny.
They make fun of it. They're not afraid to shit on old stuff. So then we also got to talk about, I guess, the flip side of the Illuminati angle is in the comics. There's like a villainous Illuminati called the Cabal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So basically, I guess Norman Osborn ties in together a bunch of like villainous people to basically do the flip side of the Illuminati. So from what I read, it's in the comics, it's Norman Osborn, Doctor Doom, Loki, Emma Frost, Hood, and Namor. And they're basically like the antithesis of what Illuminati is. I thought that maybe possibly like they could be setting up that Norman Osborn's behind the whole fucking Julia Louis-Dreyfus thing. What the fuck are the John Walker
Valentina
fucking thing
or whatever?
I never fucking right. Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine or whatever the fuck her name is. Because I guess she in the comics is Madame Hydra.
Yes.
So they could bring in the Hydra angle and like actually Norman Osborn's behind it all, which could lead into the next Spider-Man movies.
That might be cool.
They could tie that all together. Like maybe he's trying to get like maybe not even the antithesis of the Illuminati, but at least like a Dark Avengers or his own Avenger team, basically.
Yeah.
You put in John Walker as their Captain America. You have whatever he starts tying in all these villainous Loki or these Abomination.
Getting Tim Roth back, so
Kang's a part of his thing. Like who knows? And you tied it in that angle where we, instead of getting like a new Avengers movie, we get like
a bad
basically,
guy.
Basically the Suicide Squad of the Marvel universe,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that would be cool to see. Oh my god. Just thinking about all the possibilities is like, it can almost be like overwhelming because it's just like,
yeah. Well,
like
it can go in so many different directions.
If you get to the end of this, it's like, what, like where are we at the end of this? Because obviously they're still going to be playing in the multiverse. If we've got Quantumania coming up with Ant-Man and Wasp, and we've got, you know, apparently there's rumors that, spoilers for No Way Home, but apparently there's rumors that Toby and Andrew are going to show up in Secret Wars too, or Secret Invasion, sorry.
So that was my next angle on here, is that they have to start setting up Secret Invasion. So could some of these people within that we're seeing in the trailer be actually Skrulls?
Absolutely. You know, it would be mind-blowing if they revealed that somebody that we've known since the very beginning of the MCU has been Skrull the whole time. How cool would that be?
It would have to be somebody not in the main Avengers. It couldn't be like a main character.
What about Nick Fury?
It could be, totally. Any of those like main people, it would like the most likely one, which would kind of be weird, and I guess I don't know if it would really work, but like Captain Marvel almost.
Wouldn't really work though. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
It would have to be somebody off that we don't have a huge, that's been in the beginning, but she wasn't really a huge part of the Avengers or anything like that.
That we've only gotten a lot of time with.
We haven't spent a lot of time with her. She's only part of one movie. There's already rumors that she's done after this next movie, and they're setting up Monica Rambeau and everything like that. I don't know. I don't know which angle you would be able to do it, but they have to start setting up the Skrull invasion, and I have a feeling that could be a part of these. Is like that has to start being set up as like the Skrulls are all over the planet, and maybe that's why the mutants need to come in and defend Earth, or who knows? I don't know how you set that up, but
that'll be interesting to see that play out.
The only other thing I have here too is, do you think we get a live action The Watcher from What If into the council here?
I mean, that's absolutely possible. I don't know. My only thoughts about that is, and again, not that it matters what they look like, but like, if you have all these dudes on chairs, you got skinny dude with a bald head, and then you got tall and skinny dude with a giant baby bald head. I don't know.
But it's basically the scene from Star Wars, the Jedi Council. You had Yoda sitting on a chair with fucking
I guess
Samuel L. Jackson and like, you know, all the like whatever.
With
like,
giant head.
Yeah. It's the same scene.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't really he wasn't really supposed to do anything though, so I feel like him being part of a.
But at the end of the What If, he basically said he has to interfere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
if they're taking all this other stuff, like if they're taking all this other stuff from What If, it seems like almost necessary that he's a part of this.
Yeah, I guess technically, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wait, yes, anything could be a possibility. It seems like that's kind of where we're at now. Is like, you know, there's probably nothing that's really off the table here.
The thing that's a risk.
Imagine we saw Terrence Howard as War Machine.
Well, I mean, you're right. We could see anything, and I think that's a risk. I think you have the opportunity right now to bring in a lot of shit, but you also have the opportunity where it's not great. There's too much shit in it. It makes the Doctor Strange movie not feel like a Doctor Strange movie.
But I'll ask you this again. How did you feel? Did you feel like that was the case with No Way Home? Did you feel like that was the case with Endgame? Like, because I don't feel like that was the case. I feel like both of those were handled super well. And everybody got their fair time, and it still stayed to the main point of the story in both scenarios.
Right, but in my argument for that is like the Avengers movie, we knew it's an Avengers movie. It's supposed to be a cast of many people. the Spider-Man movie, it still was all Spider-Man. Like, it was still villains from Spider-Man. It was still multiple Spider-Man. Like, this being a Doctor Strange movie, you would expect Doctor Strange to be the main character. Just like my complaint for Book of Boba Fett was,
right,
a show about Boba Fett should have had Boba Fett in it.
Yes.
A movie called Doctor Strange should star Doctor Strange. And
there's no
you
way
run
that
the
this
risk.
isn't going to focus on Doctor Strange almost.
Well, I just think you run the risk of, if you're bringing in X-Men, if you're bringing in the Fantastic Four, if you're bringing in all these other universes, does that draw away focus from a Doctor Strange story and make it, a character that already isn't like anybody? Well, I shouldn't say anybody. Somebody I'm sure is a humongous Doctor Strange fan and it's their favorite fucking hero. But for me, like, you're taking a B-tier character and you're already making me more excited for the ramifications of bringing in mutants, bringing in X-Men. Like, I'm way more excited for X-Men than I am a Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, me too. But I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of keep looking at these movies as a continuous story, right? So it's like, I know this is going to focus mostly around Doctor Strange. It's going to introduce elements that's going to be able to leave us with questions. And I think that that's the point, is like, I don't think, like, I get what you're saying with No Way Home being all about Spider-Man and Spider-Man-esque characters, but, like, still, it leaves a lot of questions to be asked. Like, does our universe eventually get a Doc Ock of our own? Do we eventually get a Norman Osborn of our own? Are they the same person? Are they different age? Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think with Doctor Strange, like, I know everyone's like, oh, X-Men, but like, we could just get Professor Xavier. In this instance, we don't even talk about the X-Men because it's not relevant to the story. He's part of the Illuminati here. He's going to explain probably what he does and what his power is. I can't imagine that Strange isn't going to find out that he's a telepath. Like, I can't imagine that happening. So there's going to have to be some explanation that moves the story forward. But does that mean that he's going to tell them all about his team of teenagers with extraordinary gifts? It probably isn't relevant enough to the story to matter. So I'm feeling like we probably won't. Or if we do, maybe we just get a couple clips as he's talking about, oh, this and this and this. And that's where Ian McKellen comes in. And that's where Hugh Jackman comes in. And you know what I mean? And it's just like, they're on the screen and then they're gone. And then that's it. Then we don't see them again. It's that little bit for somebody to be like, oh, right there.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we also could tie into our whole Deadpool theory of the end credit stinger being Deadpool walking into the, Mutant Academy or Xavier School or whatever. And Xavier sitting there and saying, like, whatever, like, we're setting up the X-Men movie, however they want to do that through dialogue between Deadpool and Xavier or something along those lines. Like,
if there's dialogue between Xavier and Deadpool, he's going to walk in, see a bald head from behind if they don't want to show the actor, and he's going to say, "You're not Patrick Stewart," and then it's going to end, and that's
yeah. I mean, it could be something else cheesy as that, but it also could be like Xavier saying, like, you've seen what I did in my universe with the mutants. Now you're in this universe. Like, make sure it doesn't go astray or something. And we have Deadpool in the new Deadpool movie, like, maybe not like recruiting X-Men for the school or anything, but like a comedic version of that, of like his version of it and it all going wrong or something along those lines. Like, you could make a funny version.
Yeah, you could make that funny for sure. Deadpool failing.
Right.
Yeah, easily. That's got comedy written all over it.
Exactly. Like a Deadpool as Xavier almost trying to run a school and it just going so hysterically wrong, I think is like a very funny idea for a script.
I think it would work, but I don't think it would work in this instant. Like, I feel like they need to do something to introduce him into this universe, and I don't feel like our first introduction of X-Men or Deadpool would be that. But I think we're going to get a
Deadpool movie before we get an X-Men movie.
I do too. Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here.
So,
but again,
they got to do something.
As I said before, is like, I don't think we need to wait for an X-Men movie to start getting mutants. I think as soon as that bottle's cracked, they're going to start showing up everywhere.
Yeah.
And again, it may just be suggested that they are, and it may eventually all come together where as soon as the word mutant kind of pops up, people will start claiming it. But like, I do think that like when we get Black Panther, I feel like we're going to get Storm. It may not be Storm, like Halle Berry, but like
Right.
it'll be a version of Storm who lives in Wakanda, who maybe has powers or whatever, or
I
maybe
can
she
totally
doesn't
see that.
get, or So
Well,
it wouldn't
and
surprise
also,
me to start seeing them pop up, right? Even if Hulk gets that individual movie, like there's like this rumor that
right.
they finally worked that out. You know, like how crazy would it be to see a Hulk and Wolverine movie? Like that'd be
to be great.
fucking incredible. Like, bring in a new Wolverine with Hulk. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that too, I don't know if you saw like all the news of Channing Tatum coming out and saying like he has like massive regrets about never getting to play Gambit and everything like that. And I was like, it's so MCU and so Marvel and so Kevin Feige to put that out there and then secretly have a deal behind the scenes with Channing Tatum to come in as Gambit. And I would not be shocked at all if all of a sudden Channing Tatum shows up as Gambit, or they announce a Gambit movie, or they give him the opportunity to be Gambit. Would not surprise me at all. It's basically what they did with Shang-Chi, as like Simu Liu saying like, I really want to be this character, and then they're like, yeah, behind the scenes they signed him to be that movie, and here he is. He gets the role. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they had the same deal with Channing Tatum.
I only hope they don't, because to me that is just not the right casting choice.
I agree, but like maybe even not Gambit. Like who knows? But I could totally see him still showing up as.
Oh, I would take him as somebody else. I don't have an issue.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be a great Gambit either. Yeah,
but as Gambit, it doesn't work for me in any capacity. They're just not.
I agree, but I'm just saying it would not surprise me, and the fact that that's just entering the news cycle and everything like that, I'm like,
I
have a feeling that they're casting the X-Men right now, and he's heard rumblings that they're looking for the next, star to be in the X-Men movies, and that's why he's putting it out there. Is he wants his agent. And he wants his casting people to fucking see him saying like, hey, I'd really like to do this still.
I very much hope they start. If I had my way, our first team of X-Men would be Jean, Beast, Cyclops, Angel, and Iceman. If you want to throw Wolverine in there just for good measures, then I'd be fine with that too. But if you could give us that to start and have them all be young, don't give me 30-year-old Cyclops. Like, give me 18-year-old Cyclops. Let's watch them work through this shit and get better. And by the time we get to X-Men 3, they're fucking a badass group. Like, I'd love to see the slow burn approach, which, again, I think they'll do. Marvel's pretty good with that. So,
I also think it's going to be set up very similar to the Avengers, right? It's we get a standalone Jean Grey movie. We get a standalone Beast movie.
I don't think that.
I do.
But I think the thing is X-Men is going to always work better on its own. I think Wolverine could probably do that, and I feel like Professor Xavier or Magneto could probably do that, but I don't think the rest. But I mean, I'll take whatever X-Men content they want to give me at this point.
I don't know how you make a very exciting standalone Beast movie or whatever, but
exactly.
If you tie it in, basically what they did with Hulk and Thor, where it's like a kind of team up movie, but it's not the full Avengers. Like, you could get a really interesting Jean Grey Cyclops movie or something along those lines. Totally. And you introduce those two or three characters at a time or whatever that way, and then eventually you have the build up to the team up of, hey, now it's the Avengers movie, now it's the X-Men movie. And you don't get an X-Men movie every couple of years, but you get an X-Men movie, every 5 years.
Yeah, I do think that that's the way it's going to go. I don't think it'll be whole movies, though. Like, I think we'll get introduced to them all individually. Like, I don't think we'll get introduced to all 5 of them at once. Here's the X-Men. I don't see it being that way. I think everyone's going to get their own little piece, in Disney Plus shows and movies. They'll just be little cameos,
especially with them bringing back the animated show.
Yes. Yeah.
You have 2024, I think.
4, yeah.
It's a long way off still.
I assume that they would stack those together to kind of make them make more sense, build off each other, right? X-Men in the MCU and then the cartoon.
I don't think we get a live action movie before that. I think 2024, 2025 at the soonest. But
they'll start,
in 2023,
they'll start dropping.
2023 is already stacked.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
If we're gonna get, I think 4 movies in 2020, do you really want? I mean, I do, but do you really want an X-Men movie on top of that? It's a lot.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think that we'll get the first drop of mutants by name in in Multiverse of Madness. I think
So do I.
And I
He's
do
gonna
think
say
that as soon as that happens, we're going to start seeing them popping up everywhere. They're going to just start. And again, they may not even use them. Like, instead of maybe getting Cyclops, maybe we get, I mean, Cyclops is going to be the main character, but I mean, like, instead of getting introduced to Scott Summers, maybe we get introduced to Alex Summers instead. And like,
yeah, that'd be cool. I prefer that.
We get to know Alex, and then when the X-Men time comes, it's Cyclops who steps up, and it's like we have the relation because it's Alex's brother. We remember Alex, kind of thing, right? So
Totally.
It's like even that kind of stuff I could see happening. But I do think that they're going to start showing up. I don't think it's going to take much longer at this point. Like, I think
also
we could
with
be seeing more of them in like this year, potentially even, right? So,
well, I think it'd be really easy to drop them into like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel and not have them as a main character, not knowing that they're necessarily mutants, but like even just like a classmate of like just a name drop at some point of like, Scott Summers is in my class or something along those lines, or they're sitting in a classroom and the teacher says, Scott, and oh shit, Scott Summers is here. Like, slowly dropping shit in like that where he's not necessarily Cyclops yet. He's not necessarily even aware of his powers yet. Maybe maybe he's just a young kid and that just, he's in the universe.
Yeah, that's what I see happening.
Yeah.
That's how I think we're going to get the X-Men. I don't think we'll get individual movies, but I do think they'll all get a chance to be introduced, and then they'll put them together for an ensemble thing. So
yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait for that. But I also can't wait for Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is up there with my most anticipated stuff of the year. Like
I'll put money on it right now. This movie's going to do mad numbers.
Yeah, I think it's going to too. Especially how good Spider-Man did for them. I think they're banking on that to bring them big dollars here too, right? And plus, to be honest with you, I think Benedict Cumberbatch has acquired a pretty good following of people for his Doctor Strange. Like, I know there's quite a few people out there that are like on board, So
I totally agree. I think when he was first cast, people I think were a little bit hesitant or whatever, and not necessarily sure they wanted a Doctor Strange movie, but he's become such a huge part of the universe that I don't think you can deny that he's obviously a huge star. Spider-Man showed that these huge team-up movies, we're not getting an Avengers movie, but we're getting basically a new Avengers movie, like with all these random characters showing up. That
exactly.
These movies are going to do mad numbers. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one for sure. It's just I mean, good for them. I hope I hope they get that. That way they don't have to share it with Sony this time. But yeah, I'm super excited for that one. I'm ready for some more breadcrumbs. Like we're at we spoke about this after Hawkeye, right? And it's just like it would be nice to have a little bit more of an idea with where we're heading. And I feel like this movie is going to point us in a lot of directions and start to give us a bit more of an idea of what these next couple of phases are going to be working towards.
I totally agree. Yeah. I'm very excited. We're like almost 2 months away from it still.
I know. But it's not going to be that long though, man. It'll be here before we know it.
As soon as we get Moon Knight, it will just fly by.
I agree. Also, very excited for Moon Knight. How did you like the new trailer for Moon Knight?
Really good. I'm very excited
for it.
Right? It looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they don't soften that up, though. Hopefully they let that be a little bit rougher on the edges. And
from what I've seen and what I've read and what I think Marvel has actually said is that it's not like a PG show.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not holding back.
I'd love that. I'd love to see some more of that. So, I'm
stoked. I can't wait. We're only about a month away, so good.
Yeah, won't be long. We get Batman, and then we get Moon Knight, and then we get Doctor Strange, and then we get Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's gonna be a great year, man. There's so much shit to talk about. Yeah, man, it's never been better.
I agree.
I think that's it.
I think that you're right.
All right. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for swinging by and checking us out. If you like the show, please throw us a follow on Instagram at With Milk Media and at Customs by Matthew. Fly by Matt's YouTube channel where he's doing his Work in Progress Wednesdays. Really, really great stuff. really great community over there. So drop in his chat on every Wednesday nights. He posts new videos here and there too.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it every
so
2 or 3 weeks. I'm trying, but hopefully
got
that'll
some
get
great
better.
stuff. Yeah, hey, it's a learning process, man.
Yeah, man.
You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we're also on YouTube, my channel. And our art is done by Danny Milled Art. And thank you, everybody, for coming by and checking us out.
Fucking hey, don't forget to buy Batman tickets. I'm gonna go buy them.
I'll buy them right now. I gotta wait till tomorrow and see who's gonna come with me so I can buy enough tickets.
Cool.
But I'll buy them tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. And I'll talk to you soon.
Man. All right. Have a good night. Bye,
See you, buddy.
everybody.